These are the exact steps that you need to take to succeed as a real estate agent. The beautiful thing about real estate sales is that it's an open book test. Every single realtor that you see that is succeeding at a high level is at some level doing the same thing. And every realtor that you see that quits is not doing these things. There are literally only 5 steps that I have written down here, and if you can execute on these 5 steps consistently over a long enough period of time, I guarantee you will succeed as a real estate agent. Step number 1 is get excited. Regardless of what you've heard from your friends, family, or news about what it's like to be a real estate agent in 2025, all the doom and gloom about how it's impossible to make money anymore or the career is being phased out, the reality is real estate sales remains one of the lowest barrier to entry with highest potential income ratios. A person without a college degree or any prior sales experience can get their license and make 6 figures or way more within their first year, and many agents do that. Not only do you have a legitimate opportunity to make multiple 6 figures as a real estate agent, but you'll also have an opportunity to create leverage by growing a team and stepping slightly away from the business and have a cash flowing business for yourself. And because as an agent, you are essentially a small business owner, you also have the opportunity to sell your business at some point in the future for a massive profit. So while it is very, very important to understand exactly what the day-to-day life of a real estate salesperson looks like, please do not allow any negative thoughts to get in your head based on what you may have heard about this career. This is absolutely one of the best ways to get out of the rat race, to be your own boss, and to make more money than you ever thought possible. Step 2, understand sales. And this is one of the biggest reasons why new agents quit. They simply got into this career not understanding what a sales position is versus being an employee. So many new agents take an employee mindset into this career and they are really let down by the reality of it. When you become a real estate agent, you are no longer an employee. You are an independent contractor and a small business owner. And it's really important you understand the implications of that before moving ahead with getting your license. So what are the implications? Well, number 1, your broker is not going to ensure your success. So many people choose a broker because they think they are going to hand them leads and hold their hand throughout the process, when the reality is no brokerage is going to give any business for you. The brokerage you choose to hang your license at is simply there to handle the legal aspect of your business. You are partnering with a brokerage. You're not working for a brokerage. And while you should have certain expectations about how they support your business, if you're relying on them in any way to increase your sales, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. No one in this industry is going to tell you what to do or how to do it. No one cares if you show up in the office or never show up at all. This is sales, and in sales, you eat what you kill. And if you're not out there hunting, you are not going to eat anything. You're not gonna get a paycheck every other week. You're not gonna get benefits. You're not gonna get health insurance, and no one is going to hold your hand. Of course, the flip side of this is you are your own boss. No one can tell you what to do, really. Your schedule is completely your own. You can go on vacation anytime your schedule allows. But most importantly, there is no limit to your income. The harder that you work in sales, the more money you'll make, assuming you're doing the correct activities. And I can tell you from experience, nothing is more rewarding than seeing your hard work turn into great commission checks. Now, I love sales, but it's not for everyone. So again, before you decide to get your license and jump into real estate because it sounds fun, or you have a cousin who says they're making a lot of money, please make sure you understand the day-to-day in and out grind of what this is going to require. Some people have the personality and disposition for being an independent contractor, small business owner, entrepreneur. For me, I wouldn't have it any other way. It's the best lifestyle and I absolutely love it. Other people like consistency, they like having their hand held or being told what to do, or they like getting a paycheck every other week and having benefits, or having what they feel to be job security. So there's no right or wrong here. I would just really encourage you to be very honest with yourself. Who are you as a person? And please look into what success will require in this industry and be honest about if you think you'll be able to deliver on those things, not just once or twice, but consistently over a long enough period of time to build momentum. I see too many agents get into this business and quit because they are so disappointed with what the reality of the day-to-day looks like. Being a real estate agent is not another job. You are becoming a small business owner, and it is really an entrepreneurial career. Make sure you're good with that. Step number 3, you need to understand lead generation versus busy work. There is a time and place for both, and both are important. However, only one of these is going to be the engine of your business and the main reason why you succeed or fail. Now, other than not understanding what sales is, this is absolutely the biggest, most common reason realtors quit and fail. Almost every agent you see fail is failing because they're spending the majority of their time with non-money producing, non-lead generating activities. Now, these activities can feel very important, and you can be deceived into feeling like you're getting a lot done and accomplished when the reality is you haven't moved the needle at all for putting money in your pocket. So let's quickly discuss what lead generation is versus what busy work is. Busy work would include things like checking and responding to your emails, creating a website, creating a brand and logo and brand colors, creating an email signature, studying contracts, going to realtor trainings, going to any kind of meeting that's only filled with realtors, attending CE classes, browsing the MLS, and on and on and on. Now, of course, all of those things in and of themselves are important, and they do have a time and place. However, none of the things that I just mentioned are going to generate sales for you. These are not lead generation activities. And the reason why most agents fail is because they spend the bulk of their time on these activities. They feel like they're getting a lot done, but they have 0 listings or active buyers coming up because none of these things are lead generation. So, what is lead generation? Luckily, there's only so many ways that you can generate leads, so you don't have to keep track of 100 different things. Again, the beautiful thing about real estate sales and sales in general is that it's an open playbook. We know the rules for success. They have not changed. So lead generation looks like one or many of the following things: cold calling for sale by owners and expireds, creating and posting social media content, hosting open houses, reaching out to your sphere of influence, friends, family, coworkers, hobby groups, any of those things. Even running Facebook ads or some other type of ad, although I don't recommend that as a new agent. Affiliate marketing, so partnering with another business to send referrals to each other and increasing awareness of both of the businesses. And there may be a few others that I haven't mentioned, but those are really the fundamental ways that you can lead generate. Now, I don't expect you to do all of them. However, if you want to succeed in this industry, you are absolutely going to have to pick a few of these, become a master at them, and execute them every single day consistently over a long enough period of time. All of those items that I mentioned involve interacting with people, and this goes back to understanding sales. The core of what we're trying to do here is be top of mind for people in your area when they think of having a real estate need. Now, creating your logo and brand is fantastic, but it is not going to get anyone to call you. The truth is, sales is a people business, and the majority of your time needs to be focused on marketing to people that you already know and meeting new people and marketing to strangers. And this honestly is the crux of why an agent fails or succeeds. More than anything else, it's plain as day, simple, cut and dry. You are either lead generating effectively for long enough or you're not. Now, that's actually wonderful news because you only have to get this one thing right, okay? This is not rocket science. You don't have to manage large groups of people and stay on top of all these different variables and be an expert in all these different disciplines. You literally just have to pick a few lead generation tactics, become a student of them, and execute for a little bit of time every single day, month after month, and I guarantee you will be successful. Step number 4 is market to people that you know. So These last few steps are the most important to make sure that you succeed, and I'm going to go even deeper into each one of these steps so that you as a new agent know exactly what to do and don't have any excuses. So, marketing to people that you know. This is a very easy, clean way to think of these things, okay? And I want to keep your mind open and clear so that you don't get bogged down in any details and not take action, okay? We very simply need to market to the people we already know that live in the area we want to serve. And step number 5, spoiler alert, is going to be marketing to people that we don't know. But marketing to people that you know is easier, especially at first. And this is almost certainly where your first sales are going to come from. So let's focus on this first. How do you market to people that you already know? Now, I want to share with you as an introvert and as someone who started at Keller Williams, this gave me a lot of anxiety because the way that they taught us to approach it was basically just to call everyone in our phone book and say, hey, who do you know that wants to buy or sell real estate? And I just want to tell you, you don't have to do that. Please, please do not get bogged down in the details about how you're going to reach out. It is so much more important to just have the success of doing these things. The content and the approach is less important, and it's gonna evolve over time. So regardless of whether or not you have a conversation about real estate when you're reaching out to people that you know, I just really want you to understand how to think about this and create a framework and a plan that you can execute consistently, even if it doesn't always look perfect or feel effective. So for the next 2 steps, you need a CRM. You need a client relationship management software tool, okay? At whatever brokerage you're at, they're probably providing you a free one, and that's the one that you should use. Please, please, please do not spend hours researching the best CRM and rack your brain in choosing one, okay? Just use the free one that your broker is providing, or use an Excel spreadsheet if you're good with Excel. Personally, I use Follow Up Boss. It's very good, but again, just pick a CRM. Going back to understanding sales, because you now understand this is a people business and we're marketing to people that we know and people that we don't know in a systematic way, your CRM is how you're gonna do this. It's your Rolodex, and it's also gonna be the main thing that someone may buy from you if you ever go to sell this business. So you have to be in your CRM every day. Although being in your CRM is not technically a lead generation activity, it does support all your lead generation activities. So you should be in your CRM every single day, executing the plan that you created in it. So very simply, don't overcomplicate it. Use whatever CRM that you have. All your contact information from your phone library is going to go in the CRM. Obviously, you can leave out people who don't live in your area because they're not going to purchase real estate in your area. If you think they might move to your area, sure, go ahead and put them in there. Or if you think they're going to be a strong advocate from you in another state, or maybe they have a network in your area, then you can add them to your CRM, but just use your common sense. You're gonna fill out all the information that you have about these people, okay? Full name, phone number, email address, spouse information, anniversary information, birthday information, whatever you can get, you are going to put in there. Now, if you're just getting into real estate, if you just got your license, you have the perfect pretext for reaching out to these people. You can very simply reach out to everyone in your sphere of influence and share that you're very excited about just having got your real estate license, and you would love to keep in better touch with them because you're gonna occasionally send them goodies like candy in the mail, or you're going to set them up on a home valuation program for free, or maybe you're planning on sending them a thank you letter for being a supportive person in your life. Again, make it genuine, don't make it awkward. Simply share what's going on in your life and ask for as much contact information as you're comfortable asking for. Again, birthday, spouse information, numbers, addresses, anniversary, dogs' names. The more detail you have in your CRM, the more valuable it is. There are a few other resources where you're going to pull people's information from. So you've got Facebook. You're probably most likely to actually know the people in real life that you're friends with on Facebook. I would include Instagram as well, but just take a quick stroll through Facebook or Instagram. Anyone that's in your area that you'd feel comfortable calling up and have a conversation with. If they're not already in your phone book, you can simply message them, get their contact info, and reach out and do the same thing that we did with the people in our phone book. And if these are just social media friends, but they are in your area and you feel comfortable reaching out, message them, share the same message that I said on the phone call, and ask for contact information, ask for an address. And you can always use the context of wanting to send them a gift, because you are gonna send these people gifts. Another big resource for your sphere of influence is going to be hobby or special interest groups. And trust me when I tell you, this is probably the most likely place you're gonna get your first sale. It could be CrossFit, pickleball, Bible study, improv group, whatever it is that you do that involves other people is a very valuable resource for you. Don't underestimate it. Make sure you're connected with these people, that you have their contact information, and that all of it goes in a CRM. And if you don't have a hobby that involves other people, you really do need to get one. I would say that it's a requirement for success in this industry. And really, it's a great thing because you can choose something that you're interested in, that it will edify you in different ways. Maybe it's physical or mentally stimulating, and you can be social with it, and you can increase your sphere of influence and increase your sales. So you absolutely need a hobby that you're passionate about that involves other people. So we are going to load up our CRM with contact information between our cell phone books and between Facebook, Instagram, and our hobby groups. We're creating a sphere of influence, a pool of people who are in our service areas that we would feel comfortable reaching out to, putting them in the CRM and filling it with as much information as possible. And then over the next days, weeks, months, years, we are going to fill in that information with as much detail as we can get. Next, we are going to create a very simple marketing plan for the year, no matter what month you're in, and no matter how you do it, whether you use Google Calendar or an actual physical calendar, or just write it on a piece of paper. Guys, don't overthink this and don't ask questions about details. Just do it and take action. But you need a plan for how you're systematically going to reach out to the people that we just talked about. And again, as an introvert, when I got into this business, especially with how Keller Williams encourages you to do things, this gave me a lot of anxiety. I always felt like a phony, and I was always overthinking the interaction. And the reality is, a lot of people aren't going to respond to you. Some people will tell you to not call them or not send them something. It's really not a big deal. I just want you to feel successful by taking action, okay? At the end of the day, if you took action on these items, I don't care if you got a referral or a signed contract for one of these things, because if you execute here long enough, that will absolutely happen. So Keller Williams will tell you to do a 33 or 36 touch program, and that is fantastic. I think that is the gold standard. But again, I just wanna get you small wins and have you not overthink this. So we can keep this really simple. One phone call to everyone per quarter, just to check in and see how they're doing. You don't even have to talk about real estate, just having a personal conversation that might lead to that type of conversation. We're gonna do a monthly marketing email. Now I know these get unsubscribed to a lot, but this is another touch, and I would encourage you to find a way or an email that you would be interested in reading. It could be about local events in your area. Most people would be interested about that. It could be a bomb video where you do a short recording and people see your face and they open it up. Don't get too caught up in this. Use MailChimp or whatever marketing platform you want. But just again, this is about the routine and executing on these steps. You're gonna send out one email a month to this entire group. At the beginning of your career or to jumpstart your career, I do think you should do a handwritten letter to everyone in this sphere. And this, I realize, could be over 100 or hundreds of people. You can do a few a day, but this is going to be incredibly impactful. You can simply write a very simple, quick handwritten letter saying, I'm grateful to have you in my life. Thank you for supporting me, and leave a business card in there so that they have your updated contact information. That's it, just a nice little touch to show that you care. This will go a long way. Now, the remaining touches can be very simple as well. You can send a Christmas card, or if you're Jewish, a Hanukkah card. Halloween is coming up. You can send a Halloween card and a little piece of candy. Right before the 4th of July, we'll send out American flags. Very simple and easy. And of course, if you have anyone's birthday information or anniversary information, this is a great reason to send out either a handwritten note or use a program like Send Out Cards that can automate these steps for you. Now again, you can turn this into whatever you want, but we're trying to systematically create touches for the people that you already know throughout the year. We don't have to get crazy sending them something multiple times a month, but we do want to create a plan and stick to it. And yes, I realize this will cost some money, but there's probably no other bigger return on investment of anything we'll talk about than this. And there's no way it's going to cost you more than I don't even want to say a few $1,000s a year, probably much less than that. Most of you with your spheres can do this for under $1,000 a year, and it's going to pay for itself 10, 20, 30 fold. So yes, part of being in sales is creating a plan, budgeting the plan, saving up a chunk of money, and spending the money. So this does involve spending a little money, but it's the best money that you can spend. Now let's talk about social media real quick. For our next step, we're gonna exclusively talk about social media, but I do wanna differentiate social media for people in your sphere versus social media for marketing to strangers. So social media for your sphere is so freaking easy, guys. Don't overthink it. Now again, the outlets that you're most likely to actually know these people in real life are gonna be Facebook and Instagram. Literally all you need to do is post something once a day. Post something once a day on Facebook, and it can be anything. We like to use the Ford model: family, occupation, recreation, and dreams for ideas of what kind of content to post. But you can literally just take a selfie and saying, I'm excited to go sell real estate today. And what that's doing is having people in your sphere see you, think of you, and probably connect you with real estate because they've seen that somewhere else, either in that post or another, or they've gotten your call or letter. It's really that simple. If you want to post a real estate market update for a certain zip code, that's fine, but don't worry too much about the real estate theme. Post something about the hobby that I just told you to get involved in. You can post a tour of a home that you just visited. You could even just post someone else's listing in your area that you like and make sure that you give them credit for the listing. Please, please do not overthink this. You are just staying top of mind for the people that already know you. Post once a day on Facebook so people know you're alive and selling real estate. Now I know Instagram's a little different. People are really getting away from posting on the grids. Stories are fine even though they disappear. But listen, this is really simple. You're creating one piece of content for two platforms. It can be a post or a story, I don't care. And don't get caught up on the business profile versus personal profile either. You can post something on your Facebook business profile and share it on your personal profile. I just want you to create a plan, a social media marketing plan, and stick to it. It'll say one Facebook, one Instagram post or story a day. You can create a list of the types of content that you cycle through, and you're just going to execute day after day. That's all this is. It's a marathon, and trust me when I tell you, eventually the cream will rise to the top. The whole reason people fail in this is because they cannot do simple things consistently over a long enough period of time. This is all that's standing in the way from you and making more money than you probably ever have before. So that's all I'm gonna say for social media for now until we get to the next step. But again, don't get bogged down in the details. Stay with the 50,000 foot view, the framework, okay? We need to lead generate every day and not do busy work. We need to market to people that we already know in our sphere of influence. We do that by gathering all the information that we can and putting it in detail in our CRM and reaching out to these people with genuine connections and asking for more information and providing value, which I know confuses a lot of people, but you will figure it out over time. You just need to create a plan and stick to it. All right, and step number 5 for my guaranteed guide to succeeding in real estate is marketing to strangers, marketing to people that you don't know. And again, there are lots of ways to do this, okay? If cold calling for sale by owners and expired listings gets you excited, there are 1000% realtors crushing it with that method. I tried it, I really didn't like it. I don't like calling people who didn't ask me to call them. It just unsettled my whole being and spirit, but you absolutely can succeed that way. Like anything else we're talking about today, you need to become a student of the game and look to people who are already crushing it with those methods and learn from them. What I'm gonna talk about, as you probably know, is marketing to people I don't know through social media. Now, I'm not gonna try to convince you this. I have many videos about why I think social media is the best way that you can market to people, but suffice it to say, it's pretty much free. It's the only thing these big tech companies can't do. Think about it. What's the only thing Amazon and Zillow can't do? Put their face in front of a phone. That's where you come in. People watch you for hours and hours and hours. They get to know, like, trust you, and that's when you get these amazing hot leads. People that you're not competing business for, they just want to work with you because they already know you from social media. Now, I am going to take you through the steps and what you need to know about how to generate sales through social media, but again, I need you to understand, whatever lead generation technique that you choose, you have to be a student of the game. So if you're gonna use social media, regardless of what you think of social media outside the context of business, you need to be a student of social media. All of the platforms are different. There is so much misinformation about what to do on YouTube versus TikTok. They are not the same. You need to study, right? After you've done your lead generation, because studying absolutely does fall into the category of busy work. After you've done your lead generation for the day, you need to devote some time to studying and becoming a master at whatever lead generation technique you're going to pursue. Because there are a lot of people out there telling you what to do, you know, with these different platforms, and they have no clue what they're talking about. A quick example would be YouTube videos. I have people telling me all the time, why are your YouTube videos so long? Don't you think you should make those shorter? People have such short attention spans. You should make them shorter and post on Facebook. This is terrible advice. It's the worst advice you could get. YouTube's algorithm cares about view duration more than anything else. So for YouTube specifically, your videos should always be longer than 10 minutes. And honestly, the longer, the better, because the longer view duration, the more likely they are to push out your channel. And that's why you don't post your YouTube video links on Facebook, because your friends and family are likely to click on that link and watch the first 10 seconds and leave, and it kills your view duration. So long story short, all these platforms are different, and you will need to become a student of the game with social media. But let's talk about the framework for using social media to market to strangers. This is the essentials. This is all you need to get started. There shouldn't be any excuses about not doing this. So number one, equipment. You need very little, and it's not expensive. You need to buy a gimbal, which is a device that your phone goes in to stabilize it, thereby giving you a steady cam for all of your content. This should definitely be under $100. A wireless mic, because audio is extremely important with content, but you can get a lapel mic on Amazon for 20 bucks. And you need a ring light and a green screen. A ring light will help your videos look more professional and help you look better. And a green screen is really handy if you don't like the background of the space that you'll be shooting in, but this is the least necessary on this list. I don't have a green screen behind me right now, so this is totally optional, but all these things together should definitely be under $250. So along with your, marketing material budget, this is another thing that you have to save up for and spend and execute on. But those are the only pieces of equipment that you need. All of my content, well, the majority of my content is still shot on my iPhone. So you need a gimbal, a lapel mic, a ring light, and a green screen. Easy. Do not spend hours researching the best of any of these things. Find one you could afford and buy it. Step two, you're going to create a YouTube channel. Now I can already hear you saying, well, how do I do that? What are the steps? How do I make sure it's dialed into the settings that are gonna make me a millionaire? I'm not going to tell you all those things because it's very simple. Yes, the settings do matter, but what matters more is that you create a YouTube channel today, right? I'd rather see you create a YouTube channel today with all the wrong settings than take 2 weeks to research the correct YouTube settings and then create one or never create one. Okay, so if you wanna win today, if you want to feel good about putting your head on the pillow this evening, just go create a YouTube channel. I know you need a banner. I know you need an icon image. I know you need a name. I know you need all this stuff, and I don't care. Just do it. Just post something. Create a YouTube channel. Step two, create a TikTok page. Again, yes, there are pros and cons to business versus personal. Yes, eventually you should have a nice profile image and link tree on your page, but this is about taking massive, imperfect action. So just create a TikTok channel. And notice when we spoke about people that you know, we spoke about Facebook and Instagram. Now, of course, people crush it on Instagram and do connect with people that they don't know, but this is how I differentiate them. They're all important and you should really learn them all pretty well. The hierarchy for me, number one would definitely be YouTube. and probably Facebook number 2, just because, again, that's where most people in your sphere are going to congregate. But TikTok is a fantastic way to connect with strangers, but also it's very local. I actually think TikTok is the best platform to get listings, because when you make neighborhood specific content, it's very easy to be found in TikTok. People are keeping tabs in their neighborhood or searching out those neighborhood hashtags. So TikTok has been the best listing generator for me. Now, you already may have a huge following on Instagram or be really good on Instagram. So if you want to put your energy towards that, that's fine. But I do think TikTok is absolutely worth your time, especially where social media is trending. So step number 4, as we said, we have to study these platforms. This is going to be our bread and butter for marketing to strangers. So we have to read the manual, so to speak. I would schedule at least 1 hour a week into your planner to research YouTube and TikTok, specifically realtors who are crushing it with those platforms. You can watch the videos that I make on those platforms, and there are many realtors who are doing way better than I am on all of the platforms, right? So it should not be hard to find realtors with large followings in these platforms and take very obvious information from what they're doing. How does it look? What does it sound like? What are the hashtags? What are the descriptions? When are they posting? What kind of content are they posting? Be aware and take notes and be a student of the game. You can also, search blogs about this. There'll be YouTube videos for all of these platforms, but I want you to work on your craft. Again, this is not a money-making activity, but it is an important activity to help you make money with posting on social media. So spend at least 1 hour a week researching how to succeed on the platforms you're gonna put the most of your energy into. Number 5, I'm gonna get a lot of pushback on this one. Hire an editor day 1. This is gonna save you time. They're gonna do a better job than you, and it's gonna be an investment that encourages you to continue to execute. This is a big life hack that I'm going to give you. Onlinejobs.ph. You're gonna hire an editor, a VA editor, virtual assistant editor in the Philippines. You can do this between $3 to $6 an hour. You don't need them 40 hours a week. Again, you are gonna need to invest some money in your business. It does not need to be thousands, but you can get a professional editor editing all your stuff right now for a couple $100s a month, right? So if you budget this out over the next 6 months, you can afford this. Save up for it, whatever. But I don't care if you have no following. I don't want you spending hours and hours of time editing content, because that's time that you could be using to lead generate. And also, unless you have an editing background, it's probably not going to be nearly as good as your Filipino VA can do. Now, again, there's a whole process on how to hire a Filipino VA through onlinejobs.ph. I'm so confident that you can figure it out. It's extremely easy. You don't even have to talk to these people. I do everything over email, okay? So at some point, take a little time, go to onlinejobs.ph. They actually have training courses on the website that teach you the correct way to hire a VA, create a job ad, and hire someone. And now, congrats, you have a professional video editor. Your videos are gonna look way better than you're doing itself, and you just bought yourself back hours and hours of time. Step number 6, creating your social media marketing calendar. You have your marketing calendar for your sphere of influence, which involves calls, texts, messages, letters, pop buys, and gifts. You're just gonna look at that calendar every day and make sure you're executing. Same thing with your social media marketing calendar. Okay, you've got whatever kind of calendar you wanna use, virtual or physical, and you've got the platforms, and you're just gonna create a cadence, okay? This is the type of content I create, and this is how often I post, right? On Facebook, I post 1 post or 1 story a day, 5 days a week. I don't expect you to do this on the weekends even. And here are the examples of the type of content that I make, so I don't have to spend hours thinking about this each time. I post a selfie, I post a home tour, I post a market update, I post a listing, I post something about my favorite hobby, right? Use the Ford model. Okay, so it's gonna be 1 Facebook post / story, 1 Instagram post / story a day, 5 days a week. And then I would recommend 1 full-length YouTube video a week and 1 TikTok a day, 5 days a week. Now again, that's only 3 unique pieces of content, because Your Facebook and Instagram content can be the same. And honestly, I use the TikToks I create a lot. I post them on Instagram and Facebook. I also post them on shorts on YouTube as well. So you can make as little as 2 pieces of content sometimes. We can really keep this easy, but you should be in the habit of creating a little bit of differentiation because it does make a difference. So bottom line, no excuses. Create a social media marketing calendar with what you can commit to, where you're gonna post, how often you're gonna post, and what types of content you plan to post. Simple. And number 7, the final step is post the correct kinds of content. Now this is a little bit more nuanced and I don't want you to get bogged down in this. I have so many videos about what type of content to post, so please don't ask me this question because you can just go back and look. I have so many videos about what kind of YouTube and TikToks to make that will get you sales, all right? But most realtors are making real estate agent content, which is not good and not gonna get you sales, right? Like they're posting about what the inspection process is like or what the escrow process is like, or they're posting about what it's like to be a real estate agent. Now, I'm not saying you can never do that stuff, but consumers, people buying or selling a home, don't care about what it's like to be a real estate agent. They don't care about the escrow process, that's your job. They don't care about negotiating inspections, that's what you're there for. What do these people care about? Just think about this very obviously. People like to see homes, right? HGTV, 24/7, all day, every day. You've got access to every home in the MLS, right? Find a vacant listing, make sure it's okay with the listing agent. You got your gimbal, do a simple video tour and post it, right? Simple, easy, and it's stuff that people wanna see. So people wanna see house content, and listen, this is probably the biggest gem you could take away from this video, neighborhood specific content, right? One of the biggest decisions people have to make is what neighborhood are they gonna live in? And whatever neighborhood you've made your focus, hopefully it's the one that you're most familiar with, that you're already an expert on, you're gonna have so much valuable information to share, right? New agents get so hung up on, I have no experience, I don't know how to create value. You're experienced in your area, especially if you grew up there or spent a lot of time living there, you know so many things that other people don't know. This is the type of content that you should be making. What's it like to live in your area? What are the things to do? You can refer links to where people can look up the school ratings on their own. You can share about events that are coming up in that area. You can go to local restaurants and do food reviews, though you should not make that the bulk of your content. You want the bulk of your content to be about the neighborhoods that you're focused on and the homes that are for sale in that area. This is the type of content that people want to see and the type of content that provides people value. Now, of course you can mix it up, you can make it your own. It's not the end of the world if you make a how to negotiate properly video, right? But again, this is where becoming a student of the game really comes into play. If you are taking that 1 hour a week to study successful realtors on these platforms, you're gonna see exactly what kind of content they're making and what people are responding to. And again, if you are studying, you're gonna know what to do and not do in all these platforms. For example, you're gonna know to make your YouTube video 15 minutes plus long and not to post it on Facebook. You're gonna know if you're making a TikTok that you can't do the millennial pause where you just stare blankly for the first second of the video. You've got to do a hook within the first 2 seconds, right? I mean, I don't want this video to go on forever, so I'm not going into that kind of detail, but these are the things that you learn becoming a student of the game. So make sure you research each of these platforms individually, see what's working for other realtors, and just copy it, right? You can copy something and make it your own. That's what everyone does in life. There are no original ideas. They're simply copying frameworks that work and putting your own unique spin on it. So there you have it, y'all. Honestly, I'm kind of tired of talking. This video is gonna be way longer than I intended it to be. I guarantee, I promise, if you go through these steps and execute day in and day out for a period of at least 8 months, it's impossible for you to fail. You are going to be selling a bunch of homes and you can take this career wherever you want, whether you want to start a team, whether you want to build it up big and sell it, whether you want to become a broker, or whether you just want to have a great real estate agent career where you make multiple 6 figures and you've got some assistants and you're creating leverage. Every time you're thinking about, oh, I don't want to post or I don't want to make a call, I hope you're motivated. You could be digging a ditch, right? I'm pretty sure you would dig a ditch for however many hours a day if you were gonna make $250,000 plus a year, right? Just think about how much easier these items are than some of the physical labor that people do to make way less money. All you have to do to get financial freedom and a great quality of life is to simply not do the busy work that other agents are doing, to simply understand what sales is and what you're getting into and making sure that jives with your personality. And then you've very simply got to market to your people in your sphere of influence, the people that you already know, and you've got to market to people that you don't know. You need a way for strangers to find you. Again, yes, there are other ways to do this. You can crush it with Facebook ads. However, conversion is a huge skill that, for a new real estate agent is pretty steep difficulty level. But again, you want to cold call, you can cold call to your heart's desire. I'm not an expert in those things. I succeed with social media, so that's what I shared with you. That's marketing to strangers. Regardless of what you want to do for strangers, you have to do a referral-based touchpoint system with the people that you already know. That's a complete non-negotiable. But again, I want you to feel excited. If you can simply do these simple things day in and day out, you are going to succeed, and you don't need to reinvent the wheel. The playbook is already laid out for you. Don't waste your time creating a brand and logo and website. Don't waste your time in ridiculous conversations with realtors, and don't even waste your time in broker trainings or real estate trainings. Get out there and take action, post content, call people, text people, write people letters, and you will succeed. Now, I know you're probably wondering, well, I don't know how to write a contract. I don't know actually how to sell a home. Well, the best way to do these things is with a real client to actually practice with. And there's a million hacks that you can do with this. You can bring on a co-agent for a certain split and learn from them what they do. I think that would certainly be worth the money. Or you can just figure it out as you go. I'm not saying you should never be doing these busy work activities. I'm just saying, if you want to lay your head down on your pillow at night and feel good about yourself, you've got to lead generate every day, and everything else will fall into place. Hope that was helpful. Get out there and take action. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share this video with someone that you think would find it helpful, and I'll see you next time.